is what's great about sports. This is what the greatest thing about sports is. You play to win the game. Hello? You play to win the game.
Winning isn't everything, but it's the only thing. In our business, there is no second place. Either you're first or you're last.
Ain't this what they've been waiting for? You ready?
And now, the W with Walls and the Crew.
Good morning.
Where winning isn't everything, it's the only thing. On 100.1 FM.
Good morning.
And Facebook Live.
Good morning. Right back like we never left. Another Saturday morning with the W Show, Kansas City, talking sports and pop culture. If this is your first time checking us out, we greatly appreciate you making us a part of your Saturday morning, a part of your nice and bright and sunny Saturday morning. Jazz, what's happening?
Nothing much. I'm glad that it's getting warm. It finally feels like summer. Yep. They had First Fridays yesterday, and I feel like I didn't make it down there, but it looked busy. Like you could tell, like really? City vibes, like everybody's outside. I'm loving it so far.
Are you a First Friday goer?
I'm a fan. Okay. I'll bar hop around a little bit, see what I can find.
All right.
I'm not there every weekend, but I'll pop. I've been to a couple.
I've been to like a couple.
Yeah.
And actually, like, just walked around and just,
It's good vibes, honestly, especially when the weather's nice.
Yeah.
And then, like, that's how I kind of got into, like, trying out the different beers and seltzers and stuff because they got the locals and you can find different taps and stuff like that are dope. So I think it's fun.
Cool. Well, how was your week?
It was good. It went by fast. I got to give a shout out to moms. It's her birthday today. So happy birthday, moms.
Happy birthday. Yeah.
We're headed to brunch after this, but we'll make it a great day. It'll be fun.
You got the gift lined up?
We'll figure it out. We can't blow the cover right now, Steve. You almost made me slip. Dang.
All right. Well, happy birthday, moms. Thank you. So your dad's birthday, Mother's Day, and then your mom's birthday.
Yeah. Talk to my bank account right now. They a triple hitter right there.
And then Father's Day.
They're exactly 3 weeks apart.
Really?
Yep.
And then Father's Day's coming.
So every year, yeah. It's a blast around
They
this
double
time.
up.
Yeah, they're running it up right now.
All right, well, we got a lot to talk about on today's show. We're going to talk the NBA Finals, of course. You should be happy about this, as well as other KU fans. National champion Christian Braun. He's playing with the Nuggets, so he'll be in the finals. So we'll dive into that. And friend of the show, Pat McAfee, he takes a $35 million loss. Reports are saying that, that's what he took on his ESPN deal after he left FanDuel. Yeah, we'll dive into that. And Denver Nuggets, Rocky, their mascot, he tops list of highest paid NBA mascots. No, you're excited to talk about that. All right, and HBO announces Barry Bonds. They're putting together a documentary, which is in production right now. So I'm excited about that. And coming up in about 30 minutes, we'll have our Sneakers of the Week during our Hater to Love It segment. Let's get to today's headlines.
And now, here are the biggest sports headlines from this week. We bring them to you every Saturday morning on the W with Walls and the Crew on 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
Kansas City native and University of Kansas national champion Christian Braun and the Denver Nuggets face the Miami Heat in the NBA Finals. Rock Chalk. Steve, how do you feel about this one?
I mean, it's cool. I think from a KC standpoint, of course, he went to Blue Valley Northwest. He was coached by my former high school head coach, Ed Fritz. Shout out to him. But he'll say, what is Blue Valley is, what city is that? Is that like, it's not like, they're outskirts of Kansas City.
Yeah.
But it's still, a few miles from here where we're doing our show from right now. So I think it's dope. When I think of local guys that have won a national championship, it's not many. And have gone on to win an NBA championship, but I think it may be only one, if I'm not mistaken. Brandon Rush when he won national title with KU and then went on to win national championship with Golden State.
Dang. Yeah, super dope. I mean, and for it to be so close in time, because it's been what, a year and a half? Not even
a year and a half. Did KU win this past year?
No, we're not going to talk about that.
I forgot.
Yeah, you forgot, quote unquote. But yeah, I mean, just like the turnaround, that's insane.
Yeah.
Like the definition of like champion vibes. I think that's super dope. I know that still has to be given at least a little bit of momentum going into this one, like to be able to say that you won it within a 3-year time frame, 5-year time frame. I mean, like you said, some guys go their whole careers without taking both. Yeah. So we won't speak too soon right now before they win it, but that's definitely dope to even be in that position and be able to talk about it. So
and the list is small as far as KU players who've won NBA championships. In the last 50 years, only 10. Or no, 8 former Jayhawks have won NBA titles since NBA, and one of those was Brandon Rush.
Dang, that's crazy.
Yeah, who's the I guess I know one of those is Paul Pierce. But to you, like, who is the most famous Jayhawk ever that has played in the league?
I feel like it has to be Paul Pierce.
Yeah.
Like, I know you said other than Paul Pierce, but I feel like that's bar none. I mean, we went to a couple years ago, we did the College Basketball Hall of Fame, and Paul got inducted right here in Kansas City. So I don't know. I think that's the first thing that comes to mind is Celtics, Paul Pierce. Yeah. Like, that's a good question. If you had to choose anybody outside of him, I mean, dude, here lately, Embiid.
Joel Embiid. Okay.
I think he's on the come up MVP. To be.
Yeah, I like that one. Yeah.
I think he's on the come up to be. Yeah. I mean, he was injury prone in the beginning of his career, so he hasn't really. He's starting to get his momentum. I think he has a fair shot at it next. Okay. I would think that would be the next one, or Wiggins. But I mean, Wiggins was a one and done.
True.
But you still got to give it to him. So I'd give it to him or Wiggins.
I would just put it. A lot of it has to be, guys that played, did a lot for just not a one and done like Wiggins.
Right.
I know Brandon played there 3 years, I believe 4 years. Played there 4 years, had his jersey inducted as Hall of Fame. So he's up there. He's in the top. I would say he's in top 5.
Yeah.
Because you look at a guy like Jock Vaughn, and I think he win it with Utah. I don't remember, but I know he went to Utah, played with Karl Malone for a number of years. And then you think of like Kirk Heinrich, you think of guys like that, but Kirk Heinrich really didn't do much in the NBA wise, but he did a lot in college.
Yeah. I feel like they may have been one and dones, but they've definitely been impactful at least. Yeah. And then you got, I mean, I don't know if it's more so like starstruck versus impact, like Kelly Oubre coming from KU2. He wasn't there
really
long, but he didn't. Yeah.
Mario Chalmers did it. I know he's one of those 8 that won the national title and then went on to win with Miami.
I would give it to, if I had to do top 3, Paul Pierce, Chalmers, and then I'd do Embiid last just because he's on the come up next too.
Okay. That's not a bad list.
Like that's a nice top 3.
It is.
Well, let's hear from Christian Braun also.
I think when he was, I believe when he was talking, he talked a lot about the fact that he's been here before. The fact that he has, not only in big situations, he's had to play, in these big situations. Now he got into the game. What was that? Tuesday night or no? What's today? My days are running. Thursday night. And I mean, he wasn't impactful, but he didn't cause them, any strain, right? Like he didn't cause them not to do what he was supposed to do. He went to the game and did exactly what he was supposed to do. So I think when you look at it from his standpoint as a rookie, he most definitely is being there for his team.
Role player right now for sure.
Yep.
Which even then, in some ways, playing with Ochai, he kind of had to embrace that role, and then he slowly became more of the breakout. You could arguably say him or Ochai that year that they won it.
Yeah.
But I think he's right. I think he is already kind of comfortable. He knows his role at this point. But and you, like I said, I think you have to have a little bit of confidence coming out of like fresh off of a championship win anyways.
Right.
Like that has to play a little bit of a role.
Right.
So
and been on a national stage too all the time.
Yeah.
Playing in big games all the time.
True.
But nothing's like playing in the NBA finals. Like
that's a big one. That's a big one.
Right.
Now, speaking of NBA, Adam Silver says the NBA uncovered a fair amount of new info in regards to Ja Morant. Will announce the decision of his punishment after finals. Your thoughts on this one?
This is very interesting to me. And just knowing what I know about the situation and about the conversation that Ja Morant had with the NBA commissioner, Adam Silver, I think Adam Silver put himself on the line when he said, hey, I had a conversation with Ja. He's going to do the right thing. He's going to go get help. And then he turns right around and does the same thing again. Yeah. And when you look at some other things, some other situations that have taken place in the NBA and in all of sports, the first thing they do is suspend.
Yeah.
Ja Morant kind of got a slap on the wrist. I think it was 8 games that he got last season. So is he showing any remorse? To me right now, I would say no.
No, especially for somebody who already stuck their neck out there for you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think now if he does come down super hard, yeah, I tried the first time. Like, I already gave you a little bit of wiggle room. I was nice the first time. So I don't know. I expect it to be the full hammer this time. And I don't feel bad for you at this point.
And even listening to what he said, what Adam Silver said, it was just like, it's ultimately my decision.
Yeah.
It's so I don't know.
Let's hear from NBA Commissioner Adam Silver.
Adam, there's another investigation involving Ja Morant, and can you update us on where you are on the timeline, when you expect it to end? And since there seems to be not a lot of precedent for this situation, how do you assess what kind of punishment to deliver, if indeed there is a punishment here?
So in assessing what discipline is appropriate, if that's the case, we look at both the history of prior acts, but then we look at the individual player's history as well. And so and the seriousness, of course, of the conduct. So those are all things that get factored. It's not an exact science. It comes down to judgment at the end of the day. On the part of me and my colleagues in the league office. In terms of the timing, we've uncovered a fair amount of additional information. I think since I was still asked about the situation, I would say we probably could have brought it to a head now, but we made the decision, and I believe the Players Association agrees with us, that it would be unfair to these players and these teams in the middle of the series to announce the results of that investigation. And given that we're, of course, in the off season, he has now been suspended by the Memphis Grizzlies indefinitely, and so nothing would have changed anyway in the next few weeks. It seemed better to park that at the moment, at least any public announcement. And my sense now is that shortly after the conclusion of the finals, we will announce the outcome of that investigation.
Very interesting. When I listened to just in dissecting everything that he said, they've uncovered some more information. Like, what more information did you uncover?
Right.
All that I know of, it was the video, that he had the gun. What else was he doing?
Right. But I feel like there has to have some type of weight to it, because for him to say, I don't know, maybe I was going to ask you your thoughts on this, because for him to say that it would affect the NBA finals and those guys, like, it has to be something heavy.
Right. Of course.
So
yeah.
Unless, like I said, I'm like, I don't know. I wanted to know your take on, like, do you think it really impacts them, or is he being dramatic in that sense to where, like, we're almost reading too much into it to where it doesn't really impact them that much? Yeah. They're just trying to say, like, we'll just wait.
No, I think it would definitely impact, because think about it. If it's we'll give him, the same amount of time that he had last year, or let's just say we give him 25 games. Okay. Someone's going to come out and say, the media is going to twist it and turn it and say it's not enough.
Okay.
If he gets a full season or he's banned until he does XYZ, oh, well, that's harsh. That's too much just for a gun. You know, because people have already kind of, told on either side of the fence, whether, well, it's not much. He had a gun. There were so many other people that have guns all the time and they're posting about it on social media. Well, there's going to be someone that's going to say something negative. Yeah. So it's going to take away from the NBA finals. And then you're going to have, oh, well, I'm not watching any more of the NBA finals. Fair and I think he just wants to wait. And in fairness to Adam Silver, he's really like playing it cool.
Yeah. Yeah, because he could be just completely airing him out and call it a day.
Of course.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. I see that side of it because in my head initially, I'm like, okay, obviously the teams aren't in his team, his organization's not competing. So how much does that really affect it anyways by holding out? Like, does it almost attract more attention by like, oh, we're riding this out until the end when it's like, no, like he's not playing in it. Give him his little suspension and call it a day. Like,
and Adam Silver has to tread a fine line, right? Because you have to look at all the other situations. He talked about, they look at the player, they look at his current situation, they look at all his past and then what he's done. And I would say Ja Morant hasn't had a tenure, meaning like, he hasn't been in the NBA long enough to develop a full resume of character.
True.
And so I think when you look at his character just on the past few years of being in the NBA, he's had now 2 gun incidents. He's had, people talking about he was throwing up gang signs while he was playing. He's had a number of things of just what people have said about him. And he's also not only the gun incident, he's had another incident where he's playing a pickup run at his house and a teenager is suing him right now because he punched him in the face.
Yeah.
Or beat him up. Yeah. So those little things within your short time frame of being in the league aren't good.
No. It becomes a short fuse at that point. Yeah. And I feel like that's kind of where Adam's at, rightfully so. But I want to really like capital on him saying that they discovered more details.
Yeah.
Like, what does that entail?
Right. Is it more details on the gun incident? Is it more details on the young man that he had an altercation with? Is it more information on the first gun incident?
Yeah.
Like, what more information do you have? Or was the video longer and we just only saw that little piece of him having a gun?
Right. I don't know. I think it shall be interesting.
Yeah, Ja Morant's got to be like, man, what did I do to get me into this? And it's not using your head, bro. It's just it's not.
And honestly, it blows my mind, and I think I'm out of patience with it because it's like, why did you not have this real reevaluation the first time?
Yep.
Like, if this is the first time we were talking about it, okay, but now you want to get off social media. Now you want to make all these dramatic posts, and we thought it was genuine the first time. So
after the first incident, if it were me, I would have been, hey, no phones, no lives, no Instagram live, nothing that's going to incriminate me.
Right.
Nothing that's going to incriminate.
I'm in the doghouse.
And you said something last week that made a whole lot of sense. It's like, dude, you don't even need a gun. You've got enough money to where you can hire security. You can have a car following you.
Right.
Or you can have a bodyguard that rolls with you. And a lot of times when these high profile athletes, they get their bodyguards, they have them for years. Yeah. Like they become family.
It's a relationship that you build. And I think we've talked about it so many times with LeBron and his team around him.
Yep.
So you see that, and he was in that same talk of being the greatest right now.
Yep.
Like, so why are you not looking to other mentors in the league, other people that are doing well and modeling after that so that you don't get yourself in this situation? And then when you did the first time, why are we not back to the drawing board to extra see what we can do?
Yeah.
Like, and even then it's like friends, family, you never know what people's situations are. But after that first situation, why wasn't that a talk? Like, hey, have you thought about getting a bodyguard? You know what I'm saying? Like, why has nobody even gone there?
Especially if you just need to have a gun, I'm sure there's someone in the Morant family down that lineage that is capable of going to classes and getting a license to have to carry your gun, a CCW or whatever it's called. They would love to do that and be on your payroll.
Easy money.
A few $100s a week or times that you go out, put them on your payroll, man. Like,
easy money. And you cannot tell me that. That's why I said I think it was more of a clout pride thing versus an endangered situation, because at this point John Morant, what do you have to feel endangered for? Please let me know.
Of course.
Other than just ignorance and being reckless.
Yeah.
And I ain't got time for it. I'm sorry. Now, like you said, friend of the show, Pat McAfee's show takes $35 million loss on an ESPN deal. We talked about this on a little bit this week. We feel like there's something deeper. Your thoughts on this one, Steve?
Yeah, his if you guys don't know, he had a $120 million FanDuel deal, which includes him, running everything. So he, writes. I don't know if he writes the show, but I'm sure he comes up with the topics. He is in charge of travel. He's in charge of everything for a show, similar to what we have here.
Mm-hmm.
And he has his own studio in Indianapolis. Backstory on Pat: he played in the NFL, so he has the money to be able to fund this, and of course, FanDuel, $120 million. So I'm thinking everything is good, especially when we talked to him at Super Bowl. We had him on Radio Row on the show, and he just talked about, his show. He talked about himself, what he would have done differently, and things like that. But now he's taking an $85 million deal from ESPN, which is leaving FanDuel. But he's still, from what I've read, he's still going to have to do the same things that he was doing with FanDuel on ESPN, which is he's still going to have to pay his other people that are on his show. He's going to be able to use ESPN studios, or I'm not sure if he's still going to use his studio, which is in Indianapolis. But I know when we all talked about it in a meeting earlier this week, it's like Pat is utilizing ESPN because their brand, their conglomerate. I know Q talked about it being Disney brand. I think Pat's brand right now was as big as ESPN.
I had to disagree.
I'm just saying that because he has a few million viewers on YouTube, where he has his show, his podcast. I don't know how many million, maybe it's 100 million or something crazy like that. He has a huge following. So I'm just thinking people that listen to sports and people that watch ESPN for their sports content. And we're not talking. We just take Disney out of the picture. We're talking just purely ESPN. I think Pat McAfee's show is as big as SportsCenter.
I have to disagree. I think
No?
because I don't know. I just think about as like a sports watcher and everything like that.
Yeah.
If I'm traveling, going somewhere, and I'm looking at the TV and I'm like just on the guide of like the neutral channels, and I'm scrolling through, it's like ESPN. That's the first thing that comes to mind. That's the first thing that you go to. Easy, knocks it out, everything. They cover everything. If it came between choosing the ESPN channel and a Pat McAfee channel or whatever, however they had it set up, I'm going to go with ESPN. I just think that like you said, the brand, I think it just speaks more. Something about it. And I think that's just like the top stage. Anybody who like talks about sports and aspires, I feel like that's like the end goal.
Well, let me ask you this. What's bigger, sports betting or ESPN?
I still say ESPN.
Okay.
I think there's a lot of money in sports betting. I can't knock that, yes. But as far as like the stage and like the brand itself, ESPN. Like where can you go in sports or any activities that ESPN is not involved in?
There's a lot. There's a lot of, you got youth sports, you have I agree. I agree with you're saying to a certain extent. I just think Pat McAfee, his brand and his name is if it's not bigger than ESPN, it's right there. Like to where, and my point for saying that was like he didn't need to leave FanDuel to build his brand higher. Like I think his brand is at its high. It's not even at its peak now. But I just feel like he's taken a pay cut, and I'm not trying to count the man's pockets by any means. And I know Q talked about he's getting ready to have a child. Maybe he wants ESPN to take over some of the daily duties of travel, of books, meaning paying people out and things like that. And that could be true. Because sometimes people say time is money, and if you want to be available for your family, then sometimes you just have to take a step back, which means maybe it's worth $35 million to him. Would it be worth $35 million to me? Probably not. But to him, he may value things a little bit differently, especially with the newborn. Yeah. That could be a lot.
Definitely. Do you think FanDuel has just as much hands in everything, if not more, than ESPN does, though?
As far as like him saying different things, I think that was one of the things that he put in his contract, and this is all speculation, because we haven't seen the terms of his contract or anything like that. But what Pat has come out and said was the fact that he wanted to make sure that he's able to say everything and do everything and keep his show the same format that it was when he was on FanDuel. And the only changes is that he can't, because it's mainstream TV, he can't say some of the same things that he was saying on YouTube.
Gotcha.
Which is still huge, because you look at ESPN right now, and what is ESPN going to? What is TV in general going to? What we have right here, streaming.
Yep.
If you're going to, you're basically just jumping from one streaming platform to another.
Facts.
So, I mean, to me, it's kind of just like, I don't know. And maybe we can have Pat on the show. I know we'll probably get him around Super Bowl time, but maybe we can have him on the show before then, just to kind of talk about this deal.
Definitely. Now, back to the Nuggets, Denver Nuggets. Rocky Top's list of highest paid NBA mascots. Are you going to take that pay? Versus you said you wouldn't take the pay, Kevin. Will you take the mascot pay?
$625,000 to be a mascot? Yes. What do you think? I mean, you wear a mascot for free. So
that you just completely exposed me. For those of you who don't know, I did have a one shiny moment in high school, senior year. That they needed some help. Apparently, I bring the energy for these types of things. So they asked me to be a mascot for one of the football games. And that was my shiny moment. I wish we had one of the pictures to throw up there for my shiny moment. But would I take it? Probably not, after how sweaty that costume was.
$625,000? For what, 82 games? Well, no, not even 80. For half of that, 45 games?
It was work. I will say that. It was quite the work. And you're sweaty, and you got to keep that energy the whole game, let alone if it's hot. Denver, Denver, I guess they don't get super hot down there.
I mean, it's just an NBA game. It's
indoors.
Yeah.
So I guess I was outdoors, so my experience is a little bit different. But I don't know, man. Props to them, though. I mean, I don't know if he's doing backflips, splits, tricks, what type of tricks he's doing, but he must be doing something right for $625K.
Yeah, that's crazy. And to know that he's not the top paid.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the top paid, but to know that there's others that's in that same category. You look at the Hawks, NBA Hawks mascot, $600,000. The Chicago Bulls. I would think that Chicago Bulls, he was the most popular back in the 90s, early 2000s. So $600,000 to be a mascot?
You're doing it?
And you're living in Denver, so $625,000 goes a long way.
True.
That's like having $1 million, basically, in Denver.
I don't know, man. That was a lot.
600.
I will consider it, and at least I have it on my resume, so I might have a shot. But I don't know. I don't think I would go back to that.
Yeah.
That was a lot. I will say I should give them way more. I give them way more credit after having my experience.
Okay.
So.
Our producer Project was a mascot too. He was a Gates mascot for a couple times. He was a mascot. He was during our Christmas event. He was the Grinch. Yeah. He lived it up, man.
We have great mascot resumes over here.
We do.
If you're ever looking, I might do a one shiny moment, but I won't sign another contract.
$600K? $600K?
I will pop in. I'll be a sub. Count me as a sub.
Okay.
I'll be on the bench. Now, HBO announces Barry Bonds documentary is in production. Your thoughts on this one, Steve?
I think this is going to be pretty cool. Just to see Barry Bonds, and I just want to know how deep they're going to go into his career. Are they going to talk about the steroid usage? Are they going to talk about, his past? Or what all are they going to talk about? Because I think this could be huge for, young Black kids wanting to play baseball.
Yeah.
It'll definitely show like what it took and what it takes to be, a Major League Baseball player, being Black as well. Because Barry Bonds did embrace that he was Black. When you think about it, there's only a few like growing up. he was one of the ones that I looked up to. Also, you had the Ken Griffey Jr.'s, you had Barry Bonds, you had Kenny Lofton. Guys like that is who I watched when I was young, playing baseball. So this is gonna be dope. It really is. So I can't wait to see it.
Yeah. And I'm definitely interested to see it. Like you said, if they'll dive into the steroid usage, because I feel like that's definitely been a huge dilemma within MLB, especially.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of dudes get ran out of MLB or end up tarnished like he did through that. And it's interesting seeing it compared to other sports. Like NFL, obviously they're teetering the line with like THC and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it seems like the MLB is so original and classic and quick to just run you out. So I'm interested to see their take on it and how they go about it.
Yeah, me too. And because it really messed up, like the steroid thing messed up his career.
Yeah.
When you think about it, when you think about, he hit XYZ home runs. Oh, was he on steroids?
Yeah.
And my take on my quick take on that is steroids don't help you to be able to hit a baseball. Sure. Right? Like it doesn't help you hit a 100 mile an hour fastball. Like it may give you a little bit more power, right? But it doesn't help you to hit the ball.
You still have to track it.
You still have to track it. You still have to all that. So, it is what it is.
Now, NBA opens investigation into referee over potential use of a burner account. Your thoughts on that?
This was funny. Like, I mean, because you see NBA guys always, well, not always, but you see NBA guys like Kevin Durant, other guys that have been said to have these burner accounts, right? And basically the burner account is just to be able to say things that you wouldn't say on your regular account, right? Like to comment to fans. But sometimes, and when you look at this ref, there was things that he was saying that he would only know.
So he basically told on himself.
Yeah, and then when you create these burner accounts, you have to put your location. You have to, it's just like setting up. If you go set up a Twitter account or Facebook, whatever, you still have to put in your information,
right?
Unless you're coming up with just like some random person. But if you're tweeting right after a game inside of, they have geolocation and they know exactly where you are. Especially like if you're using the Wi-Fi inside of the arena.
Yeah. Done so.
Have you ever had a burner?
No, and I was about to have a hot take on burner accounts because I hate the concept. Like, if you're gonna say it with your chest. I think it's kind of wussy in ways. I'm not a fan of burner accounts. Yeah. Like, if you can't say it with your chest on your real account, then it's better left unsaid.
Yeah.
And I don't respect it anymore. Like, if somebody were to say it on their regular account versus saying it on their burner account, it might hurt my feelings a little bit more coming from the regular account versus the burn. Like if it's a burner account, it's like, dang, you couldn't even say it with your chest. It's kind of disregarded in my head. But
I agree. Because if somebody's saying something to you, I would want to come out and say it to them. And I know I think the refs are under a bunch of different guidelines as far as you can't say things regarding the game.
Yeah.
About whatever in any sport, even MLB umpire. So he can't come out and say it. So I understand why he wanted to use a burner to try to like people that were coming at him saying negative things. Like, all right, I got y'all. He must have really been like
angry about it. But it's like you knew what you signed up for.
Of
like
course.
You know that you're supposed to be unbiased, just like in certain like settings that we're in. You know that you're supposed to be unbiased. You just let it ride. We might talk about it in the car, but it doesn't go much further than that. Like why you really felt that bothered to go out your way to make it.
Somebody say something bad about me online, I'm coming at you. Go ahead at me if you want to.
Though, right?
Yeah, well, my real account ain't gonna be no burner. It's not gonna be a burner. You can try it if you want.
There's the difference. We are not burner fans over here. Say it with your chest. On that note, we're going to take a quick break. Coming up, we'll discuss NFL Hall of Fame tight end Shannon Sharpe leaving FS1's Undisputed. Keep it locked in. This is the W Show. We'll be right back.
You're tuned in to the W with Walls and the Crew, where winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. On 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
Come spin with us, Kansas City. KC We Spin 360 is the coolest 360 video spinner experience for events. KC We Spin 360 is taking it to the next level. The 360 video spinner platform rental will be the life of the party. everyone will be talking about their 360 video experience while bragging about it on their social media pages. The captivating slow motion and reverse effects will have your guests feeling like celebrities. The KC WeSpin 360 video spinner can capture slow-mo videos, GIFs, and boomerangs from every angle. Specializing in corporate events, weddings, social gatherings, bar bat mitzvahs, school events, and fundraisers, KC WeSpin 360 can be found online at kcwespin360.com. Come spin with us, Kansas City!
FPS Security is here to secure greater KC protection where you need them most. Social events, birthday parties, corporate events, weddings, small businesses, and more. Call FPS Security at 816-379-3600 or visit fpssecuritykc.com. Licensed, bonded, and insured. Reliable, fast, and professional service.
Football fans, you can't spell gate without Gates, and great tailgates start with Gates sauces and seasonings. Named synonymous with mouth-watering tailgates. When you make your list of tailgate essentials, add Gates sauces and seasonings to that list. Spice up your tailgate experience with that unmistakable great taste. Available in 4 tantalizing flavors: classic, sweet, mild, and hot. Find it at your local grocer, and if you don't see it, ask for it. Visit GatesBarbecue.com to purchase any of the great sauces and seasonings. Great tailgates start with Gates.
You're tuned in to the W with Walls and the Crew, where winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. On 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
Remember to interact with our show. Use hashtag talk about it, message us, and we'll talk about whatever topic you want. Now, some more tea in the broadcasting field. NFL Hall of Fame tight end Shannon Sharpe leaving FS1's Undisputed. Let's see the 2 clips of what happened between Skip and Shannon to add to the madness.
Morning. There's been a lot of speculation of why I wasn't on air yesterday, and I won't get into speculation or conjecture or innuendo, but I will say this. In watching that game on Monday night, what happened to Damar Hamlin struck me a little different. As a brotherhood in the NFL, when injuries happen, when we know injuries are a part of the game, I've seen guys suffer ACLs and Achilles tear. But I've never seen anybody have to be revived and fight for their life on the field. So it struck me a little differently because I remember seeing my brother paralyzed on the field temporarily, and he was able to regain focus. Skip tweeted something, and although I disagree with the tweet, and hopefully Skip would take it down, but I didn't want it.
Well, time out. I'm not going to take it down because I stand by what I tweeted.
Skip, let me finish.
All right, okay.
Go ahead.
No, you go.
Go ahead, let's go, Jen.
Okay.
I mean, I cannot even get through a monologue without you interrupting me.
Well,
you could have came back, Skip.
Well, I thought
Skip, just let.
I didn't know you were going to bring up this.
I was just going to say, Skip, I didn't want to yesterday to get into a situation where Damar Hamlin was the issue. We should have been talking about him and not get into your tweet. That's what I was going to do. But you can't even let me finish my opening monologue without you interrupting.
Okay. I was under the impression you weren't going to bring this up because nobody here had a problem with that tweet.
No. Clearly, the bosses wanted you to offer explanations, so clearly somebody.
No, they did not have. Nobody.
Let's go, Jen.
Let's hear the next one, because the next one's the one that really, I think, took the cake right there.
You're giving him 100% of the blame? That's just, you have no objectivity. It's just straight Brady hate. Wait a minute. This is just straight hate by a guy who's jealous that he is still playing at a high level at 45 when you had to stop at 35.
That's what you do.
That's the point.
That's what you do. Every time I call something into question, I'm jealous.
No.
Skip, I did what I did.
I never said you were jealous of Baker Mayfield.
Skip, I did what I did. You make it seem like I was a bum. I'm in the effing Hall of Fame.
Okay,
I got 3 Super Bowls.
So what?
So what?
He's way better than you were.
I'm better than you.
Better.
Skip, what did I got to see what you do? You take personal shots.
No, I don't take personal shots. You started it.
Time out. You would take a personal shot at me.
I didn't take a personal shot at you.
Wait a minute.
What are you talking about?
You would take a personal.
Put your glasses back on.
Can I finish? You're willing to take a personal shot at me to say this man is better than me because I say he's playing bad this year?
Well, because you just
go ahead.
You disrespect him. It's just so. You know what? It's beneath your dignity.
You would disrespect me to support him.
No, well, I'll support him over anybody because he's the greatest player who ever played your game, and it's by far.
Have at it.
Okay,
Take off,
I'm going to have at it because I'm going to have at you because what happened yesterday?
Sheesh.
Yeah, it's time for Unc to make that move. Yeah, of course, they was announced that Fox Sports bought out the remaining of this Shannon Sharpe's contract. Within their final show will be final show that he'll be on is after the playoffs. So NBA playoffs. What do you think about that?
I think it's about time. I think we all saw it coming. I was honestly surprised that it didn't happen sooner after the DeMar Hamlin situation. I feel like that was pretty big. And for him to ride it out this long kind of surprised me. And it's just, I think, kind of like he said, where he always takes it to personal levels and personal shots. That, like, it's one thing to do clickbait and get excited and poke at the bear and all that, but once you start taking jabs at somebody's career that they, like he said, worked hard for 3 Super Bowls, like he's a Hall of Famer.
He said, I'm an effing Hall of Famer.
Right, like rightfully so. I would have that same energy. Like, put some respect on my name, just like you want to vouch for these players that we talk about. Like, just as much as me being your colleague.
And the thing about it too is that and to speak on just what he was talking about, the last clip of Tom Brady, it's like we know Tom Brady's career. We know what he's done. All Shannon was saying was the fact that he wasn't having a good season. Like he was washed, so to speak. He can have his opinion on that. Like NFL players can have their own opinion about other NFL players.
Exactly.
It's not like me or you talking about an NFL player. We have never played in the NFL.
Right.
So our saying that he's washed is completely different from Shannon Sharpe. Hall of Fame Shannon Sharpe saying that he's washed. Even Skip Bayless. It's like, dude, you got an opinion, but what professional sport did you ever play?
Right. Exactly. And I think that's the most irritating part of it. Like, and that's where he got so angry, and even in that second clip, because it's like, who are you to say? Like, and to disrespect me and somebody who actually went through it and did it right, I ain't got time for you once again.
And sometimes too, and I would 100% believe that he's looking at it through a player lens, meaning like, all right, I'm a bet on myself.
Yeah.
I'm at the height of my career. Like, I mean, that we still have one of the top shows in sports, right? So people follow me, and he probably feels like people watch this show because of him, and I watched the show because of Shannon Sharpe.
Yeah,
1,000%.
1,000%. If anything, Skip is the joke of the show. Like, okay, like again, back to hearing from a guy that's never played sports like this in his life. Like, let me hear your take.
Of course.
Versus the guy who knows what he's talking about.
Yep. So whatever he's done, going to do, I'm sure he's going to fall forward. He's going to land on his feet. And then, I mean, we're talking about millions of dollars here. He's already started his podcast. He has all types of guests on there, which he pulled that from Fox as well. So I think he'll do fine, especially like if he goes. I think Stephen A. Smith came out and talked about him possibly, making some appearances on First Take.
Yeah.
So I think he'll have his own show here pretty soon.
I think it's up from here for sure.
Yeah. Club Shake.
Now, free agent running back Le'Veon Bell says he smoked marijuana before games. I wonder how the HBO documentary going from that to this.
Yeah, and there has to be a doc that comes out that talks about these players that have come out and said that they've done drugs. I don't know if anyone said that they've drunk before a game, but I'm sure that there's been more than just Le'Veon Bell. There's been more than just Megatron that have come out and said, I was high before a game.
Yeah.
And there's still players currently. And if you're still able to, do what you do.
Right.
Playing while,
at that level too, like we're not talking just like backyard football or pickup basketball. Like at that level, at that point, it's like, you got it, because there ain't no way.
And even Le'Veon said, looking back on this, that's what I did. When I was playing football, I smoked, bro. Even before the games, I smoke and go out there and run for 150 and 2 touchdowns. That's crazy.
Yeah. And then like I mean, maybe, like it depends on headspaces and how it affects you and stuff like that. But then I'm like, 152 touchdowns. I can only imagine if he didn't smoke, like, you know what I'm saying? Unless, I don't know, people take it other ways too. Like that was the reason why. But I impressed.
There has to be a documentary that comes out. I don't think it's time yet. But I think once marijuana is legal in all 50 states, I think then it's time.
Definitely a different take on it. The Detroit Pistons and Monty Williams agreed to largest coaching deal in NBA history.
This is crazy. Just because he hasn't won anything. I mean, he's had some phenomenal players, right? Like he's coached the Phoenix Suns, so he's had some great players on that team. Now he's going to the Detroit Pistons, who has a young team. Let's just see how he can do it, what he can do with these young guys, if he's able to turn around. Because granted, you can take some guys. I mean, you had Kevin Durant, you had Chris Paul, you had Devin Booker. All these guys that you've had are great players. So go up there to Detroit and see how it is with these young guys. Are you able to coach these dudes up?
Yeah. And I think that's the true test.
I don't know.
I know we talked about it a lot in college basketball, like with the one and dones and like, oh, it looks like that you're great. But then the Bill Selfs of the world they go through the program. So yeah, I have to agree. I think it'll be a real test.
So would you say Bill Self could go and coach in the NBA?
I think so. I think that
it's different.
Yes, I think it's different. I think that he is definitely known for coaching guys up and them going through the program versus coaching the one and dones. I don't know if his game and his coaching necessarily caters to the stars already.
Yeah.
But I think seeing how he works with the players and coaches them up, I don't think, like, I know we talk about in the NBA with the whole pride thing and coaches or people taking the advice from people who have been there and stuff like that. I think that he would be good in that way because he wouldn't let his pride get in the way. Working with those big time names.
Because I mean, you think about like him getting this amount of money, right? Like that's top tier.
Right.
And he without winning anything. I mean, you have coaches that have had longevity in the league that are looked at world-renowned coaches that have went on to coach the Olympic team. Look at Greg Popovich.
Yeah.
I mean, he's only getting, I think, $11.5 million right now. Steve Kerr, Golden State Warriors. He's won championship after championship, and he's only getting $9.5 million.
Yeah.
Last year, Monty Williams didn't even make this highest salary top 10.
Jeez.
So he goes from zero to hero real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he got fired and definitely landed on his feet.
Definitely.
Is that showing how bad that the Detroit Pistons needed a coach? Now, and I don't even think, I don't want to take away from him because we talk about black coach being able to be black and get a head coach all the time, right? So I don't want to take anything from that aspect of it, but is it just because they needed a coach so bad in Detroit, and it's like, man, nobody's gonna come here, so we're gonna have to pay top dollar?
I hate to say it, but yes. I think that at that point you're kind of desperate. No coach that's used to the winning atmosphere and doing well is going to stoop to a different level. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you've got to go with what you can get.
Yeah, some guys want to take ready-made teams.
Yeah,
yep,
definitely.
I agree.
So on that note, we're going to take a quick break. Coming up, we'll dive into our Hate It or Love It segment. Keep it locked in. This is W Show. We'll be right back.
Tuned in to the W with Walls and the Crew, where winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. On 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
Come spin with us, Kansas City. KC We Spin 360 is the coolest 360 video spinner experience for events. KC We Spin 360 is taking it to the next level. The 360 video spinner platform rental will be the life of the party. Everyone will be talking about their 360 video experience while bragging about it on their social media pages. The captivating slow motion and reverse effects will have your guests feeling like celebrities. The KC We Spin 360 video spinner can capture slow-mo videos, GIFs, and boomerangs from every angle. Specializing in corporate events, weddings, social gatherings, bar bat mitzvahs, school events, and fundraisers, KC We Spin 360 can be found online at KCWeSpin360.com. Come spin with us, Kansas City.
FPS Security is here to secure greater KC protection where you need them most. Social events, birthday parties, corporate events, weddings, small businesses, and more. Call FPS Security at 816-379-3600 or visit FPSSecurityKC.com. Licensed, bonded, and insured. Reliable, fast, and professional service.
Football fans, you can't spell gate without Gates, and great tailgates start with Gates sauces and seasonings. Named synonymous with mouth-watering tailgates. When you make your list of tailgate essentials, add Gates sauces and seasonings to that list. Spice up your tailgate experience with that unmistakable great taste. Available in 4 tantalizing flavors. Classic, sweet, mild, and hot. Find it at your local grocer, and if you don't see it, ask for it. Visit GatesBarbecue.com to purchase any of the great sauces and seasonings. Great tailgates start with Gates.
You're tuned in to the W with Walls and the Crew, where winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. On 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
Remember to interact with our show. Use hashtag talk about it, message us, and we'll talk about whatever topic you want.
And we have a real quick talk about it topic real quick. We appreciate your mom for sending this in to us. I just want to say that first and foremost. But we talked about the mascot and Denver Nuggets mascot making $625,000. We did. Well, we have something for Jazz. Your mom sent this in, Jazz. This was you back in the day when if you're listening on 100.1 FM, you gotta pull up your phone at the W Show KC on all social media platforms. You can see Jazz's photo.
Brought it out the vault.
Were you a Tiger?
I was. We were the least I'm a Tiger, so I was the Tiger for a game.
Oh my goodness.
Fun fact, if you ever want to bring out a fun fact about me. I was
What year was this?
My senior year. So, and another way to go out with the bang. I mean, it's senior year, Friday night football. It's like a bucket list thing. Like, you got to do it one time for the one time.
Were y'all winning or losing? Because you look upset.
I think we were winning. That's halftime. So,
okay.
like I said, I'm hot. I'm sweaty. I'm
oh, my God.
Get me out of this thing. But that was the moment. And I just had to get one of those flicks because, it's always like, oh, who's underneath the costume?
You couldn't at least smile? Why you didn't smile?
I got a couple of smiling ones. we got to. I don't want to bring all those out the vault. We don't need to see all of them, but there you go.
I wish you had video of this.
Sneak peek.
So, Phil, you did this for free. I'm sure you could do $625,000.
Hey, I did it for the memes. Like I said, senior year, it was for the nostalgia. I don't know if you can pay me to do it now.
Okay.
We'll see.
Right.
Let's get to our sneaker day week, Steve.
Time for Love It or Hate It.
Hate it.
If we love it, we talk about it. If we hate it, we move on.
Starting off the sneakers of the week, we have the Tiana Taylor Air Jordan 1 Zooms.
These are fire. Thorns, I think they have like little thorns, and the rollout of these was really dope too.
Wayne.
I want to be on one of those lists where they send all the celebrities or whoever the sneakers. I just want to be on the list to get some sneakers, some free sneakers.
Yeah,
I can sell shoes.
I like the rollout and everything, but I will say I don't like the shoes. They're giving Ronald McDonald.
It's just the red. If it's the yellow laces.
Yeah, if it was different laces, I'd rock them. But
yeah, black. I think black laces would have been dope. Even white laces.
Yeah.
You can always just change them.
True. But Wayne definitely was really dope seeing the clip of his rollout with them. I liked it.
Yep.
Women's Nike Dunk Low Heirlooms.
Fire.
I think I like those. I'm rocking them.
Fire, yeah, with the silver and the gold. Yeah, these are fire.
Yeah, something different. Air Force One Low Classics, 50 years of hip hop.
Fire. I like these too.
What is it, like a greenish color? What is that, olive color, or is it black?
They're like a gray, charcoal type color.
Gotcha.
The metallic swoosh. Yeah.
And the off-white bottom.
Yep.
I can rock them. Last but not least, the Nike Zoom LeBron NXXT Gen Ghost Green. Next gen Ghost Green.
As much as y'all think that I hate on LeBron, I really like these. Like,
I'm hooping them.
I'm the Papa color shoe guy, so I love the Volt green, lime green, any color like green shoe. I'm at it. So yeah, these are dope. Yeah. They're not my favorites. I'll take the Tiana Taylor first.
I'd hoop in them, but
really?
daily wear definitely not. Hoop in them, yes.
All right.
I think I would have to go with the top left, the heirlooms for my favorites this week.
Okay.
Pittsburgh Steelers in chaos after QB Kenny Pickett has luxury car stolen with the NFL season playbook still inside.
It's funny. I hate the fact that he got his car stolen. But the fact that he was at the Chevy dealership when he was getting his car stolen.
What? It was at the dealership itself?
Yeah, he took
inside job. 100% inside job.
He took the 2023 Genesis SUV to a Chevy dealership last week, and it was stolen from the Chevy dealership.
They said, all right, we have the key to success right here. Take it and run with it.
Right.
And then I bet you his labor fee was waived by the end of his dealership trip.
But I wonder what Chevy dealership it was. They didn't say, but what if it wasn't in Pittsburgh?
Even more so. It was definitely an inside job.
Right.
Like, you see this? All right, just take that.
Where's Kenny Pickett from? Like, I want to know that. Roger, can you tell us where Kenny Pickett is from? Because if let's just say, is he from Pittsburgh? Okay, yeah. So if he's from Pittsburgh, like let's just say he's in Cincinnati, and he's at the Chevy dealership.
The worst possible scenario.
Of course.
Oh yeah. Also, I guess maybe you were moving and grooving, so you just had it in the back seat. But you gotta at least be better than that.
Yeah.
Like, it's the playbook. That's the key to success.
Yeah, of
like,
course. Yep. They know who you are, first of all.
Right.
And if you got a book in the back they're gonna flip through it like, oh, this is what y'all run.
Right.
Okay, from New Jersey. Huh.
Yeah.
So the Jets.
Yeah.
AFC team.
You definitely brain farted on that one, leaving it in the car, dude. That's the key right there. So what do they do next? Do they burn the book? You got to do a whole new place for the year? Like, what do we do at that point?
Yeah. So we'll I don't know. I have no idea. I think they recovered the car, but I don't know if they got the book back.
Well, good luck this year, Pittsburgh. Udoka reportedly takes 3 Celtics assistant coaches with him to the Rockets. Hate it or love it.
This is fire, especially the fact that he's taking one of his best friends, Aaron Miles, with him. He's keeping these guys jobs. He's probably, and I know he'd probably do it either way, but he's like, man, I messed up. We had a heck of a run. Let's continue to try this run somewhere else. So I like it. It's just Houston.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you respect the guys for going with him, even after what he did?
Yeah. I mean, sometimes it's like, what was the movie Bad Boys? We ride together, we die together, Bad Boys for life.
Hey.
Yeah. And they understand it. Like, especially Aaron Miles. Like they are best friends. Right. So it's like, man, I'm rolling with you wherever.
Whatever happens.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Heat's Jimmy Butler files trademark for Hemi buckets to use on clothing and more. Hate it or love it.
This is weird. Like, because I have never heard anyone call him Hemi buckets. I've only heard Jimmy buckets. So this is I don't know. I mean, get it how you live. I felt like he should have did Jimmy buckets.
Maybe he's trying to start a new wave, rebrand himself.
Yeah, and I think he's doing something of a beverage brand too. So, Hemi buckets? Nah, that's not.
You don't think it'll stick?
Nope.
I guess we'll see. Tom Brady wouldn't choose football future for his son because of expectations.
Wow, that's huge. It's another family thing. Like, you said he wouldn't choose football over his son for his son.
Wouldn't want
Basically,
his son to play football.
That's huge. I think when you think about the landscape of where we are in today's society, because sometimes parents are kind of like on the fence. Do I want my kid to play? Do I not want my kid to play? Concussions, all that comes into play. And if you're seeing a guy like Tom Brady, who wasn't in the trenches, like, I mean, he played quarterback, so he wasn't, but I'm sure growing up he played other positions. But as far as like in the league, he was playing quarterback. So his likelihood of being able to get a concussion is far less than a wide receiver or a running back, or a linebacker, right? So for him to say that, that's huge. And I think parents are going to take a look at that because, of course, the greatest football player of all time, right?
Yeah.
Comes out and says he's not going to let his own son play.
Yeah. But for expectations, I feel like versus like safety and stuff like that is different because and I think it might be easier said than done because I mean once you see your kids start to play the sport and everything, like you want them to be successful. But I think that expectations is real. Like if he doesn't live up to half of what his dad was, then he's a disappointment. I don't think that's fair to his son either. So I think it could also be motivating in ways. Yeah. I don't necessarily think that you should put a cap on your son because of that.
True. I agree. And same with like LeBron and Bronny, right? Like, by the way, Bronny is going to have his first game with USC versus Kansas State.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That'll be a lit one. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, back to the question. I think when you look at these top tier athletes and their kids, right? Like they all have stuff to live up. They're always going to be cast in that shadow. And it's similar to, big brother, little brother, big sister, however you look at it. They're always going to be cast in that shadow. And sometimes it's tough. It takes a different type of kid to come out of their parents or their sibling shadow.
Yeah.
And they're always going to have to try to live up to that.
And I think that's with any sport. Like, even if he did choose to hoop, then it's going to be like, oh, if he's not a good basketball player, like your dad's Tom Brady, how are you not good at sports?
Right.
You know, so I feel like that's not necessarily fair to limit him to just football or any other sport, because
it's taking the easy way out.
You're going to have that expectation anyway.
Yeah, it's taking the easy way out, but it is what it is. We appreciate everyone who joined in on today's show. Happy birthday to your mom.
Yes, happy birthday.
Yeah, so remember, you can catch a rewind of our show on Mondays, 100.1 FM. Remember to like and interact with us all on social media. Jazz, what do you have going on for the rest of the day?
You're partying for the birthday.
Birthday party it is. All right. Thank you, guys. Until next week, we are out of here.
The views and opinions expressed on the W Radio Show by the host, co-host, guests, and call-in listeners are solely the opinions and responsibility of the original source who expressed them. They do not represent the opinions of the W Show, 100.1 FM, One Kansas City Radio, Sideline Sports Talk, Team Wall Street Foundations, or affiliates.